Have you ever wondered if our understanding of God goes beyond what we've been taught? What if I told you that one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, Carl Jung, had a completely different view on the divine that might just change how you see everything? Today, we're not just talking about another theory or belief. We're diving into something that touches the core of our existence. Jung's thoughts on God aren't just ideas. They're a challenge to everything we think we know. They make us question our deepest beliefs and push us to explore the mysteries of life in a way that's personal, real, and honestly, a little bit unsettling. But isn't that what makes this journey so fascinating? Let's take a closer look at what Carl Jung said about God, something that might just make you rethink everything you thought you knew about spirituality. The early years, Jung's spiritual beginnings. Before we dive deeper into Jung's revolutionary ideas about God, let's first take a look at his early years and the spiritual beginnings that shaped his unique perspective. Carl Jung was born into a deeply religious family in Switzerland in 1875. His father was a pastor, and religion played a significant role in Jung's early life. However, even as a child, Jung was not satisfied with simple answers to profound questions. He felt a deep curiosity about the nature of God, spirituality, and the meaning of life. This curiosity would eventually lead him on a journey that would challenge traditional religious beliefs and offer a new way of thinking about God that continues to provoke thought and debate. From a young age, Jung experienced vivid dreams and powerful visions that seemed to have a spiritual quality. These experiences were formative in his understanding of the unconscious mind, and they planted the seeds for his later work in psychology. But more than that, they began to shape his thoughts about God, not as a distant, unknowable figure, but as something deeply connected to the human experience. Jungs Break with Freud, a path towards spirituality. Before we delve into Jung's revolutionary ideas about God, it's important to understand a critical turning point in his career. This moment came when Jung parted ways with Sigmund Freud, his mentor. This break was more than just a professional split. It was the beginning of Jung's personal and intellectual journey into the deeper realms of spirituality and the psyche. Let's explore how this pivotal separation set the stage for Jung's profound insights into spirituality. Jung's early career was significantly shaped by his relationship with Sigmund Freud, a towering figure in the field of psychology and the father of psychoanalysis. Freud's influence on Jung was profound in the beginning. Freud's views on religion were clear-cut. He saw it as an illusion, a construct created by humans to cope with the often harsh and unforgiving realities of life. To Freud, the concept of God was not a divine truth, but rather a projection of the human mind, an invention to deal with the innate feelings of helplessness, anxiety, and fear that come with existence. However, as Jung delved deeper into his own studies and experiences, he found himself increasingly at odds with Freud's materialistic and reductionist perspective. Freud's dismissal of religion as mere illusion didn't sit well with Jung, who felt a profound sense that there was more to human spirituality than Freud's theories allowed. While Freud viewed religious beliefs as mere psychological crutches, Jung saw them as expressions of something much deeper and more universal in the human experience. This growing divergence in their views on spirituality and religion became a central point of contention between Jung and Freud. Jung could not ignore the spiritual dimension that he believed was inherent in the human psyche. This difference in worldview led to a gradual but inevitable break between the two men. What had once been a close and productive partnership gave way to a rift, marking the beginning of Jung's independent journey into the exploration of the psyche and the realm of spirituality. After his break with Freud, Jung embarked on a path that would lead him to develop his own theories, particularly around the idea of the collective unconscious. He proposed that religion and spirituality were not just figments of the imagination, but deeply rooted elements within the collective unconscious, a term Jung coined to describe a part of the unconscious mind that is shared across all humans. Within this collective unconscious lie archetypes, universal symbols, and patterns that recur in myths, dreams, and religious experiences across different cultures and eras. Jung saw the image of God as one of these powerful archetypes, embodying a universal symbol of the divine that transcends individual religious beliefs and cultural differences. Jung's break from Freud was not just a professional split. It was a pivotal moment that allowed him to explore and develop ideas that were more aligned with his own understanding of the human psyche. It opened the door for him to delve into the spiritual aspects of the human experience, which he believed were essential to achieving psychological wholeness. This journey would lead him to formulate some of his most influential and enduring contributions to psychology, particularly in how we understand the role of spirituality in our lives. God as an archetype, a universal experience. Now that we've uncovered the significant shift in Jung's journey following his break with Freud, let's dive into one of his most captivating ideas: God as an archetype, a universal experience. This concept might just change the way you think about the divine. We'll explore how Jung viewed God not as a distant figure, but as a deep universal symbol embedded within all of us. It's a perspective that touches on our shared human experiences and offers a profound way to understand spirituality. Let's delve into this idea and see how it resonates with our own search for meaning. When Carl Jung spoke of God, he wasn't referring to a literal figure, a divine being sitting on a throne in the heavens, watching over humanity from afar. Instead, Jung saw God as an archetype, a profound symbol that represents the totality of the self, the deepest, most integral part of the human psyche. To Jung, the concept of God transcends religious boundaries, existing as a universal experience that resides within the collective unconscious of all people, no matter their faith or cultural background. Jung's concept of God as an archetype is rooted in his broader theory of the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of memories, instincts, and experiences common to all human beings. In this collective unconscious, archetypes function as primordial images, recurring motives that shape our perceptions and behaviors. The God archetype, in particular, reflects the essence of the self, which Jung considered the center of our personality and the source of our wholeness. But what does it mean for God to be an archetype? For Jung, the image of God was not just a symbol of external divinity, but a reflection of our own inner world, a mirror of the deepest aspects of our psyche. He believed that the process of individuation, our journey to becoming the person we are truly meant to be, involves integrating all parts of ourselves, both conscious and unconscious. This integration is essential to achieving psychological and spiritual growth, and the God archetype plays a crucial role in this process. It represents the ultimate goal of our development, reaching a state of unity, balance, and wholeness within ourselves. Jung's perspective on God challenges the traditional view that sees the divine as an objective reality existing outside of us, separate from our own consciousness. Instead, he proposed that our experience of God is deeply personal, arising from within. This idea invites us to reconsider the way we approach spirituality, encouraging us to explore the divine as an internal reality, a presence that we encounter in our own psyche. It's a perspective that not only broadens our understanding of God, but also emphasizes the significance of our inner life in the spiritual journey. This concept of God as an archetype is not just a philosophical idea. It's an invitation to delve into the depths of our own consciousness. It suggests that the divine is not a distant, inaccessible entity, but something intimately connected to our own existence. By engaging with this archetype, we begin to understand that our search for God is, in many ways, a search for our true self, a journey toward discovering who we really are in all our complexity and depth. And speaking of discovering who we really are, it's not just about spiritual insight, but also about understanding the opportunities that life presents to us. If you're someone who is looking to align your inner world with outer abundance, there's something you might want to explore. Imagine attracting wealth effortlessly, starting today. It sounds incredible, right? There's a link in the comments below where you can uncover some truly shocking wealth secrets revealed by a rogue NASA scientist. This could be the game changer you've been waiting for. Now let's dive back into our exploration of Jung's profound ideas, the shadow and the divine, embracing the darkness. One of the most startling and perhaps unsettling aspects of Jung's ideas about God is his exploration of the shadow, the darker, often hidden parts of our personality that we tend to repress or deny. In traditional religious views, God is often associated with light, goodness, and purity. But Jung's understanding of the divine was far more nuanced. He believed that to truly connect with the God archetype, we must confront not only the light within us, but also the darkness. The shadow, in Jungian psychology, represents those aspects of ourselves that we find difficult to accept, our fears, insecurities, and the darker impulses that we might prefer to ignore. But for Jung, acknowledging and embracing the shadow is a crucial step in achieving wholeness. He argued that our spiritual growth requires us to confront these hidden parts of ourselves, bringing them into the light of our conscious awareness. Only by integrating these aspects can we move toward a fuller, more authentic connection with the divine. This idea can be challenging, particularly for those accustomed to viewing God as an embodiment of pure goodness and perfection. Jung's perspective suggests that the divine is not just about transcending our imperfections, but about fully engaging with them. It's about understanding that our experience of God is intertwined with our own human experience, which includes both light and dark, good and evil. This duality is central to Jung's vision of spirituality, a vision that embraces the complexity of the human soul and recognizes that true divinity is found not in perfection, but in the integration of all aspects of our being. In this sense, Jung's view of God is more than just an abstract concept. It's a call to personal transformation. It asks us to look within, to confront the parts of ourselves that we might fear or reject, and to find a deeper, more holistic understanding of who we are. By doing so, we come closer to the divine, not as a distant, unapproachable ideal, but as a living presence within our own psyche, a presence that guides us toward greater self-awareness, balance, and spiritual fulfillment. This approach to spirituality, which incorporates both the light and the shadow, offers a richer, more comprehensive vision of what it means to connect with the divine. It challenges us to move beyond simplistic notions of God as a purely benevolent figure, and instead invites us to explore the full spectrum of human experience. In doing so, we open ourselves to a more profound and authentic spiritual journey, one that embraces all facets of our existence and leads us toward a deeper understanding of the divine as something that is as much a part of us as we are a part of it. Religious symbols and personal revelation. Carl Jung's fascination with religion extended far beyond the confines of Christianity. His intellectual curiosity and deep psychological insight led him to explore a wide array of religious symbols and practices from different cultures and traditions. Jung delved into Eastern religions like Buddhism and Hinduism, the mystical traditions of alchemy, and the esoteric knowledge found in Gnosticism. What intrigued him most was the universality of religious symbols across these diverse traditions. He saw these symbols as expressions of the collective unconscious, a reservoir of shared experiences, memories, and archetypes common to all humanity, regardless of culture or creed. To Jung, religious symbols were not mere artifacts of the past, irrelevant to the modern world. Instead, he viewed them as living, dynamic elements of the human psyche, brimming with psychological significance. These symbols were, in his view, keys that could unlock the deeper layers of the unconscious mind, guiding individuals on their spiritual journeys. Whether it was the cross in Christianity, the mandala in Hinduism, or the alchemical symbols of transformation, Jung believed that these images and rituals connected people to something far greater than themselves. They tapped into the archetypal realm, a level of reality that transcends the individual and touches the collective soul of humanity. For Jung, religious experiences were deeply personal revelations. They were moments of profound insight and connection that brought individuals into contact with the archetypal forces within their own psyches. These encounters could be healing, providing comfort and meaning in times of crisis. They could also be transformative, sparking a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Jung saw these experiences as essential to the process of individuation, the psychological journey of integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of the self to become a whole, unified person. However, Jung also issued a cautionary note about the dangers of taking religious symbols too literally. He observed that when people become too rigid in their religious beliefs, they risk losing the deeper psychological meaning of these symbols. In his view, the true power of a religious symbol lies not in its literal interpretation, but in its ability to evoke the archetypal forces within us. A cross, for example, is not just a historical artifact or a mere representation of Christian faith. It is a symbol of sacrifice, transformation, and rebirth, themes that resonate deeply within the human psyche. Jung encouraged a more flexible and open-minded approach to spirituality, one that allows for personal interpretation and growth. He believed that each individual must find their own way of understanding and relating to religious symbols, rather than adhering strictly to the doctrines and dogmas imposed by external authorities. In this way, religion becomes a personal, living experience rather than a set of rigid beliefs. It becomes a tool for psychological and spiritual development, helping individuals navigate the complexities of life and find deeper meaning and purpose. God and the quest for meaning. At the very core of Carl Jung's ideas about God lies the quest for meaning, a quest that he believed is fundamental to the human experience. For Jung, the search for meaning is not just an intellectual exercise, it is a deeply spiritual journey that is closely tied to our relationship with the divine. He saw God not merely as a distant figure to be worshipped or feared, but as a symbol of the ultimate meaning and purpose of our lives. Jung's understanding of God was deeply personal. He believed that each person's experience of the divine is unique, and that it is through this personal encounter with God that we come to understand our true selves. This idea stands in stark contrast to the more traditional view of God as a universal external authority. Instead of seeing God as a separate entity, Jung saw the divine as something intimately connected to our inner lives, a reflection of the deepest aspects of our own psyche. The quest for meaning, according to Jung, is a lifelong journey that requires us to explore both the conscious and unconscious aspects of ourselves. It involves confronting the fears, doubts, and questions that arise within us as we seek to understand the world and our place in it. And it is in this search for meaning that we encounter the divine, not as a distant, unapproachable being, but as a presence that is deeply intertwined with our own experience of life. This idea can be both liberating and daunting. On the one hand, it suggests that we each have the power to find our own path to God, a path that is uniquely ours, shaped by our individual experiences, beliefs, and struggles. On the other hand, it also means that we are responsible for our own spiritual development. We cannot simply rely on external authorities or religious dogmas to guide us. Instead, we must look within, trusting our own instincts and insights as we navigate the complexities of life. Jung's emphasis on the personal nature of the divine challenges us to rethink our approach to spirituality. It encourages us to move beyond the confines of traditional religion and explore the deeper, more personal dimensions of our relationship with God. In doing so, we may find that the quest for meaning is not just about discovering some external truth, but about uncovering the truth within ourselves. The ongoing relevance of Jung's ideas. More than 60 years after his death, Carl Jung's ideas about God continue to resonate deeply with people around the world. In an era where traditional religious beliefs are increasingly questioned and new forms of spirituality are emerging, Jung's work offers a framework that is both deeply psychological and profoundly spiritual. Jung's concept of God as an archetype challenges us to look within ourselves for the divine. It invites us to explore the full spectrum of our human experience, light and dark, good and evil, conscious and unconscious, as part of our spiritual journey. This vision of God is not about conforming to a set of rigid beliefs or practices. It is about embracing the complexity of life and finding meaning in our own experiences. Jung's ideas remain relevant today because they speak to the universal human need for meaning and connection. In a world that often feels fragmented and chaotic, his work offers a path to wholeness and integration, a path that is uniquely our own. By exploring the depths of our own psyche, we can find the divine within ourselves, achieving a sense of balance, purpose, and fulfillment that transcends the ordinary and touches the eternal. Jung's legacy is not just in his psychological theories, but in his profound understanding of the human soul. He recognized that the quest for meaning is an essential part of the human condition, and that it is through this quest that we encounter the divine. His work continues to inspire and challenge us, reminding us that the journey to God is, ultimately, a journey to ourselves. In conclusion, as we wrap up this exploration of Carl Jung's thoughts on God, it's clear that his ideas are not only revolutionary, but also deeply challenging. Jung invites us to rethink our relationship with the divine, to look beyond traditional religious frameworks, and to find the God within ourselves. This journey is not always easy, but it is one that promises profound personal growth and a deeper understanding of the meaning of life. Whether you agree with Jung's ideas or find them unsettling, there's no denying the impact they've had on the way we think about God and spirituality. So, as you reflect on what we've discussed today, consider how Jung's ideas might resonate with your own spiritual journey. What does God mean to you? How can you integrate the light and dark aspects of your personality to achieve wholeness? And how might your personal experience of the divine shape your understanding of the world and your place in it? Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Carl Jung's surprising and thought-provoking views on God. If this topic has sparked your interest, I encourage you to delve deeper into Jung's work and continue your own journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about Jung's ideas and how they might relate to your own experiences. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking the divine within yourself.